Hey everyone, so I want to give my impressions on the Amazon Fire HD8 Plus. This is $120 in the US. It is, I want to say, $20 more than the non-plus version, and I highly recommend spending the extra tiny bit of cash and getting the plus version. I tried out both of these. This one is far superior over the non-plus version. You get wireless charging on it. You get more RAM. Just that RAM, it just makes it so much nicer. So just go with this guy. It's a little bit more money. Still only $120 device compared to like the base model iPad, which is over 300. You're saving quite a bit of money. This thing is awesome. 3 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, which is expandable. Use the right word there. Up to 1 terabyte. It has dual speakers, dual stereo speakers with Atmos in them. They sound very good. They're not. I mean, they're not super quiet, but they're also not super loud. They get loud enough, but they also sound very good though. They also moved the camera to over here, so that way when you're doing face chatting with somebody, your finger isn't like on it or something. So they put it there. And then too, it isn't at a weird angle for you. Like I said, it does do wireless charging, which is very cool. It is made of all plastic, which just means you're not going to be able to break it as easy, by compared to like an iPad or whatever. Everything on it's plastic, not just the backing of it. The front is as well. The screen is as well. This does only 720p quality. It's not the best screen, but if you're like me and you can't even tell the difference between 720 and 1080 or 4K, this thing looks great. I mean, it looks great to me. I will say that. Of course, you can pinch the zoom here. Although it's stuff pretty fast. I have only a few issues with it. Well, one issue, and that is pretty much only on the Best Buy's website. So I'm going to reload this. It is for some reason Best Buy's website on not only this device but other devices as well. I've noticed it's a bit slow. Again, other websites, as I'll show off in a moment here, loads actually pretty fast. For some reason though, this can be slow to load all this extra pictures in here. If you try to click on, say, like specs here, a lot of times because it isn't finished loading, it'll kind of do one of these where it kind of scoots up a bit. Scoots up a bit, and then you end up clicking on like that, like you just did. Then you'll end up hitting like some other link. So you have like a different product. You'll hit say reviews instead of specs, something like that. For some reason, Best Buy's website is hard. I'm just gonna say harder on devices than other websites are. I'm not sure why that is. It just seems to be how it is, though. And again, that really only seems to be with this. Then I do have one other issue, and this is not an all-the-time issue. It's just when I'm shopping on Amazon. It loads fast. I really do like it. We'll hit this. I don't know what this even is. Amazon Halo. I need to look into that. That looks pretty dang cool. Is sometimes the picture, actually right now it's doing it. It just doesn't look crisp. It looks kind of fuzzy. It looks like it's not in focus. Again, it doesn't do this all the time, but I'm hoping you guys can see that. But like the intensity of your activity, it just looks a bit fuzzy. Other times it looks super duper sharp. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's my internet. My internet's very good. It's actually pretty fast internet, but for some reason, yeah, it just doesn't like to always focus in. So you can see here that it's okay. Anyway, so that's like my really two issues I've had is for some reason sometimes this is super sharp on Amazon, other times it's fuzzy, and other times it's really fuzzy. I don't know why that is, and that's just on the pictures. Everything else loads very well. See, like these pictures load just fine. Which is the one you can click on. I really need to look into this. I love fitness devices. Then I'm going to open up a few websites here. And I'll show you guys. After 2 months, this is still just as fast. I mean, you'd hope it would be. It's only been 2 months or so. Just as fast as when it first came out. Again, it's not going to be as fast as an actual premium device. It's actually not as fast as the Amazon Fire HD10 is from 2019. Because this actually has a lesser processor in it. They're both MediaTeks, but this one has a bit of a weaker processor in it, slower processor in it. But this also has more RAM than the 10. I honestly actually prefer using this guy over the 10. I love the 8-inch display. It's nice and portable. Not that 10 inches is that big, but this is just super portable. I love this case. Right. I think I've already shown that. But I love this case, the Amazon McCall National Geographic case. The display is nice. Like I said, it's not as good as the 10 is either. That does full HD. This does 720p. But it's still a very good display, especially for an 8-inch device. Here, I really do like. People do not like bezels. I know these days. I do. I put my fingers there. That's where my fingers go. Otherwise, you're like this, which just isn't as comfortable. I've actually replaced using my HD10 with this 8 Plus. I don't know why. I just like it better. Like I said, the big part is the portability, and then actually the biggest thing though is that RAM. I'm gonna show off here. I've shown off in past videos. It's just you can have multiple websites open. You can have multiple. What if I can click on the picture? Sidetracked. You can have, okay, I'll zoom in, and I'm gonna go to YouTube. You can have multiple apps open. You can switch between them. It takes it a quick moment, but it does it, and it does not refresh unless it's a very intense thing. Look at my other videos on this, and I also have a comparison between this and the 2019 HD10. But even like games like Call of Duty, I've had that open, switch to like YouTube, switch back, it's still open. 98% of the time, it does not refresh. It's just very cool. Well, look up a 4K video here. Let's go with this one. I'll show you off. Also show you. You'll hear. I don't know what the right word is for that. The sound, if I go the correct way. The volume.
This is Dolby Cinema.
Sorry about the fingerprints. It's just because I've been using it.
Most advanced cinematic technology you've ever experienced. Begin.
So this only let me do 720. Some will let you do 720, 60 frames per second. Again, it's going to look better in real life than it does through the screen. This black is actually very nice and black too. One thing I did not experience on here that I did on the HD10 is the light bleed. This does not seem to be as affected by it. What I mean by that, if you guys don't know, is when this is up all the way, blacks look more, what's the word, washed out? They just look super like bright, like the lights are coming through the black is what it is. Where this actually the black looks nice and black like it should. It suffers like this much from that, where the HD10 suffers like this much from that. It's only when when your brightness is up all the way. Okay, I just had to get rid of that fingerprint. As much as annoying me. Yeah, but I mean it's not a major thing unless you're one of those people that keeps their brightness up all the way all the time. Personally, I keep mine to about there. You do get notifications on here, which is very nice. Kindle, for some reason, does not stop running. I'll make it quit, and it'll just pop back up. Doesn't seem to hurt my battery, though. Speaking of battery, they say 12 hours of battery. I'd probably put between 8 to 10. Depends on how much you actually, of course, use it and what you use it for. And again, your brightness, your sound, all that stuff will do things to your actual level there, your battery level. But it does last. It lasts me probably almost a week. I use it mostly for YouTubing at night and then web searching every now and then. Excellent device. Where does it go? Open up one more thing here. Again, if you guys want to see more in-depth, go to my channel. I do have a more in-depth review on this guy. This is just after 2 months. But I just want to show you. It doesn't... See? No refreshing. We'll go to Best Buy's website. See? Yeah, I may have actually refreshed a tiny bit. See, this is where it was. I mean, it's just very cool. Like, no refreshing. And if you guys, again, you go to my other my other videos on this, I've opened like I don't know 10, 15 apps the one time during one of the videos, and I only refresh like one or two of the apps. It's crazy for a $120 device. So my impressions after 2 weeks is this. My takeaway is this is a very nice device. If you have an old Fire hd8 or hd7, this is definitely an upgrade. $120. If you guys do have the Fire 10, unless you are actually having multiple apps open or you're having an app that is kind of RAM intensive, for instance, cars.com seems to be RAM intensive because on the HD10, after about 20-30 minutes of looking at cars, it actually slows way down and then it restarts itself. I do not have the issue on this guy. I believe that's because of the RAM. But if you do have the HD10 from last year, the 2019 version, not the 2017, that one's worse. The 2019 version, I don't think this is necessarily an upgrade for you because, again, the processor is worse, but it has better RAM. Unless you need that extra RAM. Personally, like I said, I do like the HD8 Plus here better than the 10 for my own personal use. Now, if you're coming from like an iPad or a Samsung Tab like S6 or even S4, this is not going to be an upgrade, again, of course, because you're talking about a $120 device compared to a $500-$600 device, or even $300 and some dollars for iPad. But this is definitely a nice device. Or if you're like me and you want it as a secondary device for, I don't know, take with you somewhere, which I don't actually do, just using it for YouTube. Like I use it when I fall asleep to watching YouTube. I don't know if that's weird. Let me know, is that weird to do? But I fall asleep to it watching YouTube, and I don't really want to knock over my more expensive device and break it. This, again, is made of plastic, so it's very hard to break. You can probably drop it on the ground from like 6 foot up, and it shouldn't really hurt it. So as a secondary device, this thing is excellent. Again, it's fast. It's not the fastest, but it's definitely fast. You can multiple apps open. You can actually do gaming on here. It's not gonna be high quality gaming. You cannot game in like high settings, but you can game in low to medium settings on it. I didn't experience really any lag on it. It's a good device for $120. This is my takeaway. For $120, this thing is worth it. It just isn't worth it if you have a higher end device or the HD10 from last year, from 2019, unless you need the extra RAM or you want a secondary device. But if you're upgrading from a lesser model, say a 7, or a model that is older, it is definitely worth it. Or again, as a secondary device, or as just for media consumption, this thing is worth it. I highly do recommend it. I give it probably about 4.5 out of 5 stars. Nothing's perfect, but for the price, I love this device. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Did you guys buy one? Did you guys buy the non-plus version? Which again, I highly recommend this one over the non-plus version. Not much more money, and you get more features and just a better device. But that's just my opinion. So let me know what device did you guys buy? Are you guys waiting for a device that's coming out like the Samsung Tab S7, which of course is a way different tier of a device? I mean, that's like $1,000 device almost, something like that, I believe. Just let me know what you guys think. And if you guys do have one of these, or again, the non-plus version, let me know what you think of it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next vid. Goodbye.